Oh, I'm over here bopping and shit. What's going on? Y'all already know it's your boy Morbius. It is Tuesday. Y'all know what that means. It's Comic Relief, episode 31. Let's get into it. What is going on, people?
Oh shit, I'm on.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's Krash. I forgot you was here. What's going on, bro?
Chilling, man. Chilling. What's good with you?
Chilling, man. Feeling good. I see there's people up in the building. We got 9 people with us today, hanging out already. That's what's up. Salute to the chat. Salute to you, my brother, for coming through. You know, I appreciate you.
Always a pleasure.
Hell yeah, gotta give a quick shout out to the Comic Relief family. You know what I'm saying? Big PJ, Scheme Riches, Moonlit Michelle. Gotta give a shout out to the family because I'm pretty sure they're up in here. So, matter of fact, speaking of the chat, let's get into it. I got a Comics Kin is in the building. What's going on, my brother? Right. Salute to Brandon. Appreciate you, my brother. We got the Unruly Simeon.
Salute, my dude right there.
Yeah, always coming through. Of course, just what I was talking about, the homie Paul PJ was good, my brother. And then, of course, we got the biggest delinquent on IG. Shout out to Jason, Climbing Comics. What's good, my brother? Watch it because he will rob you. And, of course, always in the building. Shout out to Big Daddy John. What's good? Thank you always for coming through, showing support. Appreciate you. And, of course, we got the queen of IG. I'm just going to call that the queen of IG. We got the homegirl Sheena. What's good, sis? Always representing, always in the building, you know? And, of course, we got some more people up in here. Dave Collects, what's going on? Yeah. No to political comics. Oh, okay. We already throwing out. Shots fired, son. Shots fired. It's already started. We didn't even get into it yet. Hold on a second, because I'm about to put that invite in the chat so you guys can come on and y'all can speak your piece. You know, we ain't going to take it too long, so don't think you're going to be up in here all show. Just going to speak your piece. We're going to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
We got a drink before we get it started.
Oh, yeah. We definitely going to get into that. I just want to see who else is up in here. Thomas Jackson, okay. Salute. Professor Horton. Shout out to you, my brother. Who else we got in here? Oh, bro, the homie came through. Was good. Sif Flordy was good, my brother. He was here not too long ago. Make sure to go catch the replay when Sif was on here 2 weeks ago. Make sure to catch that one. That was a dope one. You know, the homie always coming through. Let's see who else we got in here. We got kind of jumped on me, the chat here. Oh, got the homie Chef in the building. What's going on, man? Salute to you, my brother. And shout out to everyone else who ain't chatting, but y'all watching. I appreciate you guys. Don't be afraid to come in the chat, man. Speak your mind. This is what the platform is about. This is why I did this shows, because so we could be able to just speak freely and not be constrained by, you know, whatever it is that's holding you back on IG. Y'all can speak it here, man, because this is what it's about. This is what the show's about. So let me get this link real quick. Let me copy this real fast, because I really want to get you guys in here, and I want to see what y'all got to talk about. Because, of course, before we get into it real quick, I got to break it down, right, Krash? Let's just break it down real quick. This is Comic Relief, episode 31, and today we're talking, does politics and comic, can you mix them together? You know, that's the topic of today, and it's an open forum, so there's no special guest today. I just got the homie K Krash hanging out with me as my co-host this week, and we're just going to open up the floor and let people come in and speak their mind and you know, about the topic. And we already saw somebody already had it, you know, something to say about it. So here's the link. I just dropped it into the chat. You know, y'all could come on at any point. Let me know how you feel about it. But let's get into it, man. So before I start, you know, I definitely want to hold on a second. Let's get before we get started. Yeah, I know. I see you, brother. Before we get, oh, wait a minute, real quick. Homeboy just dropped in. Shout out to Spider's Comic. That's the homie right there. You know what I mean? He was like, y'all the special guest. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, my brother. You know, y'all the special guest. All of y'all special guest. Sheena, what am I drinking? What? Guess what I'm drinking. Take a wild guess. I'm from the Bronx, a hood motherfucker. Guess what I'm drinking? Hennessy.
And this is what I got on deck.
Ooh, got that Ocho.
Got the Ocho.
Got the Ocho. We getting crazy up here. Salute to everybody who's drinking in the chat. Salute to everybody who's catching the replay, getting your drink on. I appreciate you for coming on. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, because you know your boy's gonna come with it, man. And let's get into it. I'm gonna pass it off because you know me, I could talk for days. So Krash,
just continue the conversation we were having right in the background.
Right. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean that's why we were late a little bit, because we were talking and it's like,
right. We was getting it into it. You know, we over here like, you know, starting the show before the show, you know, in the background, and realized it was already ready to go on. So, you know, once again, like, well, basically like this, man. This is how I feel about it, man. Well, I'm gonna give you the short end of it because we got a lot to say and there's a lot of points to hit. You know, and one of the things that I want to hit, of course, I got it. Hold on a second. You know that. And so one of the points I wanted to hit was basically, you know, because, all right, let me set this up properly. I'm jumping the gun here, guys. You know, shout out to everybody who keeps jumping in and jumping out. Appreciate you. I
mean, I can state my 2 cents if you want me to state my side.
No. What I want to do is set it up. I need to set this up properly of why I even did this show today. You know, because I got to explain to the people in here why are we talking about this? Why are we discussing comic books and politics? Where, like, how did that come up? Well, this is how it came up. So there was a homie. Some of y'all might have seen it. The post. You know, he put a post up. It was funny. It was funny. That's what it was. It was funny and it was political. You know what I mean? It was making fun of the president. You know, stumbling, and it was really funny. It was just funny. And somebody came on and basically let that person know who made the post was like, yo, this ain't the place for that, you know, fall back, my man. You know, and right there, that already was like, what's going on here? And of course, my man came at him very, you know, I think it was one of the best response ever that I've heard, you know, and the guy came back again and gave his opinion on why. You know, I'm not going to get into details of it, but that set me off because it was like, hold on a second. The guy said he wanted to escape reality. This is why we're on here. This was his rebuttal. We're on here because we want to get away from the real world. We want to get into the comics and kind of like get away from that, you know? Cool. I get that. Like Krash said, as a collector, yes, you read your book, you get lost in it. Like here in my room, in your room, you're going to get lost in it. But once you jump on social media and then you interact with a community of people, that no longer applies. You can't fully justify that statement when you're in a community. You can't just say like, oh, no one that I'm interacting with is going to express their political views. Bro, you're reaching. You know what I mean? You cannot say something like that. You know, yes, you could get lost in your own books. You could get lost within your own little page, you know, but once you go outside your page, I feel like that kind of like, you can't use that excuse of saying like, and you definitely should not be telling somebody not to do it. If anything, if it bothers you, keep it moving, right? Keep it moving. Everybody has their own platform. And their platform is their opinion, is what they believe in. This is what they want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And yo, shout out to Lord Chuck's in the building. Real quick, just want to give a shout out. You know, Leroy was good, my brother. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. But yeah, you know what I mean? I feel that, you know, once you come on, you know, social media, all that shit is like reneged. You can't, you know, use that argument of, no, you cannot talk about it because I want to escape. Bro, that's on you. If you're not liking what I'm posting, or if you're not liking my expression of my political views, keep it moving. But the problem is, like we were saying, you have this cancel culture. We're dealing with a cancel culture now. So people now are afraid. People are afraid to speak their mind. People are afraid because nowadays you got to pick a side. You know, either you Biden or Trump. Republican, Democrat, liberal. You know what I mean? Either, you know, you for black people or you not. You know what I mean? It's like you got to pick a side nowadays. So I get to the point where people want to avoid it, because I know a lot of people personally who've told me this, that they avoid the political part of it, and it's only because they don't want to rub someone else the wrong way. So it's not that they don't want to express themselves based on their own fear of they don't want to express themselves because they just don't want to push a potential follower or view away. What you think, Krash?
I mean, that's a multi-layer onion, and each time you peel it back, it just gets your eye more teary. But you know, it's like okay, comic books, just like anything, can definitely be political. There's a lot of political comics. There's a lot of comics that aren't meant to be political but have political themes. I mean, the X-Men, that right there, it's a very political movement. Just the whole X-Men, the whole, you know, mutants being the, you know, the symbol for, you know, minority oppression and whatnot. So there's politics in there, you know. So to a certain degree, it can't be avoided, but it can, because not everybody will see it that way. There's some people who would look at X-Men as just a regular mutant story, and if that's how they relate to it, then by all means. But in this day and age of social media, we all have our own channels, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? You don't like something that's playing on one channel, you change the channel, you go someplace else. You know what I'm saying? So for the dude that made the choice to express his opinion on somebody else's page, he has that right to do that. But at the same time, you're opening the door to someone to say something to you that you may not like. Okay, whether that was your meaning to say that or not, you're opening the door and you're letting somebody in your house. If you don't want to hear that, then don't open the door, and you got to just keep it moving. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I also understand him saying that, you know, comics is a form of escapism.
It is. It's totally a form of escapism.
Way.
Hell yeah.
There are times that I get online, right, and I'm looking through people's comic pages, and I'm not really trying to hear no political shit, right? If someone's comic page has some political shit, I just go on to the next one. There's so many things on there that I can go to. I'm not going to stop on this dude's page and say, hey, yo, why are you doing this on your channel? This is supposed to be comic books. And it's like, wait, this is my crib. You're going to tell me what I can do in my crib? Okay, well, now I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. Says, you want to step into my crib and say something? So now you in my crib. Now let's have this conversation.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
And then the problem was that person wasn't ready to have that conversation. So not only did you open your mouth, you know what I mean, but then you done put your foot in your mouth afterwards and then fell back. It's like, listen, so for that, just keep it quiet. Shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing. Keep it moving. Because there's a lot of stuff I see that I don't even want to deal with, that I look at and I'm like, man, nah, I'm good. But then there are some things that I do see that I agree with, and I'm like, hell yeah, bam, I agree with you on that. 100, right. You might get the black fist, you might, or if not, I just keep it moving. Depending if I don't agree with what it is that your opinion is, I'm gonna keep it moving. But I'm not gonna jump on there and say some whack shit. And that's the problem nowadays, that it's so easy to just get on the keyboard, you know, and talk reckless, you know, and get comfortable. Get, like you said, feel real comfortable to come in my house and tell me how to wipe my feet in my house. You know what I mean?
Even if dude, let's play devil's advocate here, okay? Let's say dude just said that because it wasn't that he was trying to come at him sideways. Let's just say that. It didn't sound that way, but let's just, for argument's sake, let's just say that dude was on some humble shit and was like, yo, I really like your channel, and I would rather not see all this political shit because I'm trying to escape from it. You know what I'm saying? Something, Michelle. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you shouldn't be putting stuff on there because I really want to come back to your channel. Let's just say he says some shit like that. See, right. Even as innocent as that, it's like, well, you know what? Okay, I get it how you feel, but I'm not trying to get into this conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want to put on my channel. Right. And this is what I'm going to put. If you don't want to come back, sorry, I can't see you no more. It'd be nice to keep you, but if not, keep it moving. Right. It's just, unfortunately, the problem that we have here is that you have a lot of people that take stuff very personal, right? And they feel the need to express themselves in an indirect way. Because like you said, if they come at it straight up and down, they can get called for it, and they may not want to get called for it, and may want to. They're trying to approach it on some sideways shit. But at the end of the day, this is the internet. The internet always wins. The internet is a community of a whole shit ton of people. If one person ain't gonna catch it, the next one's gonna catch it. So if you put it out there, you need to be honest with what you're putting out there and expect some blowback. If I don't want to hear people talking shit to me, I'm not gonna respond to nobody. Right. The moment I respond to somebody is the moment that I'm ready to get into a discussion with somebody, whether it be positive, negative, heated, or calm. At the moment I respond, game on.
Right. Feel me? See, my thing is this now. If homeboy really came from the humble, if he really came from the humble, DM me, fam. Hit me in the DMs. Let's talk about it like two grown adults. Let's have an adult conversation and hit me in the DMs if you felt that uncomfortable about my post. But the fact that you hit me in my comments and then you telling me, my man, like, fall back, my man, with that. Because if for those of y'all know, I wish I could. I'm not trying to be that dude, but I wish I could read this shit, because that's what triggered me was, you know, the way he said it. You know what I mean? To you, it sounded different. To me, it came off different. You know what I mean? To me, and it came off the same way I felt to the person who put the post, the same way. That it was sort of like trying to like sun you, like trying to tell you how to dictate how you post and how you move accordingly within the comic community. It was like, nah, fam, that's not how you do it. You do it like, you know, fall back, like keep your opinions to yourself. You know,
that's the tragedy. That's the tragedy of not doing a face-to-face. Right. When you just see words, they can be interpreted in a lot of different ways.
It's not even a face-to-face. It's how you approach a motherfucker.
No,
like
it's still
I said, you could have DM'd me. You could have DM'd. I'm saying me like if it was me. But you could have DM'd him, and that person felt the same way. That's
still a matter of opinion. Maybe dude doesn't do DMs. You see, me, I'm always trying to give somebody the benefit of the doubt, but at the same, it goes both ways. Because there's a lot of assumption here. You're saying, well, he could have DM'd me. Yeah, he could have, but he didn't. He chose the live platform. If you're going to assume why he chose the live platform and put your feelings on him, then it's going to be like, well, I didn't mean it that way. But I get you. I get you, Morbius. There's certain words people use that is going to trigger certain folks. But there's also, because the internet is so big, there's a lot of folks out there that are not aware of a lot of those triggers. And a lot of them are very ignorant to that shit. That's why when they get the heat brought back to them, they're really confused. Like, wait a second, I wasn't trying to be confrontational.
Okay. Now the reason why is because they feel real comfortable nowadays. They feel real comfortable talking real slick and talking real, like, you know, coming down and authoritative to a motherfucker. Like, if you're supposed to respond and be like you with your head crouched down, like, nah, homie, you're not gonna come on my page live and tell me to stop posting this because you feel a certain way. Because that's what he said. I come on here to escape. That motherfucker block me, unfollow me, keep it fucking moving then. But because your feelings is hurt, because your ass is sensitive and can't deal with fucking reality, especially when you're in a community. You in a fucking community, my nigga. Like, you cannot, how you gonna try to avoid something when you're around hundreds of thousands of people and everybody has a fucking opinion? Like, to me, that is being like very selfish. That's being very self-centered. And you caught up in your own little world thinking that nobody's going to speak on the things that bother you. You know what I mean? But that's on you. Like you said, in his feelings, he was in his feelings. Right. He was definitely all in his feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because the intention of the person who made that post, you know what I mean, made it with a joke, intended to be a joke. And right now, shout out to right here we go. I'm gonna get to John, because John just says something. I don't want to feel comfortable. Sometimes is more that they aren't street smart. Right, exactly.
That's what I said.
That's right. That's true. Scheme, absolutely right. They're not street. They don't pick up on those connotations and those little keynotes that will set a brother off in the street. Because that, what he posted, the way he wrote it, if he was to talk like that to somebody in the streets, like, you're gonna get slapped, fam. Like, you're not gonna be like, yo, when you end the sentence with my man, like, you better stop that, my man. That's beef talk, nigga. That's you're not sunning me. You know
Right.
what I
But
mean?
just
And
that,
that's how
see,
the person felt. I'm just saying that's how the person felt. But once again, it's like we said, what does comic reflect? Comic reflects life. Life reflects comics. So the fact that you don't want to talk politics when comic books do reflect that. There's plenty of politics in comic books, but only when the politics are in your favor, is what I'm saying. People don't have a problem talking about it when they agree with the politics. But when they don't agree with it, then we got a problem. So politics and comics definitely mix, because conflicts makes good drama. Politically timing, controversial storylines are always going to take part. Bam, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Salute to John. But that's what I'm talking about. That you have comic books that reflect life, and salute to Back Issue Paulie. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wink,
Paulie.
wink,
Yes.
wink, wink. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like for you to try to take away reality, like per se, out of comics, that's a touchy subject. That's a slippery slope, let's say, because it depends what kind of reality you trying to escape from. Now, if it's something that, how can I say, like you talking about cosmic shit? Yeah, dope sci-fi. Yeah, let's get lost in that shit. But there are plenty of times when we talk. I mean, you had the Spider-Man Obama. You know what I mean? When he became president, he was in the, it was his whole big thing. The book is fucking expensive. The reprint, the third print, that shit spent like the fucking, that's politics, bro. On my wall right here, I got fucking the Watchmen. When you have Mitt Romney and Obama wins, you know what I mean? The Watchmen variant. So I have the Watchmen variant. So you have comic book right here, blatantly promoting politics, but yet we can't talk about politics. That's bullshit.
Well, I
And
mean,
we can talk. I'm just saying we can talk. I know I keep cutting you off, Krash, because you're gonna come at me, and that should be. You always fucking get me upset because you always come at me, and you fucking can never agree with me, you motherfucker. But anyway, let me just
I
finish my
agree,
shit.
bro. I agree with you, but as I stated earlier, I
hope
like
you
to play
don't.
the devil's advocate. You know what I'm saying? Because I truly do see both sides. You know what I'm saying? Because as Scheme said, Scheme illustrated my point perfectly. And that what I was trying to tell you is that just because dude came across in a way that you felt like was out of hand doesn't automatically mean that that's how he saw it. The internet is so big and it's been around long enough where there's a certain etiquette that does not match what me and you have experienced on the street level. That's not it's a different community. It's a lot more freer, and of course, a lot of us old school dudes that were around before there was an internet, we always on some, oh, y'all talking real loose on here just because you behind the keyboard, because they can, and that's all they know. You see what I'm saying? That's just like, it's just one of those things you have to chalk up. Is like, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like I was telling you in the back room before about how I saw a post where Method Man was working out. He was in the gym. He was doing squats and he had a mask on. So apparently somebody said something in his comments, because in his post, he was like, my mask, my business, mine yours. So apparently people, because they can, this is Method Man, and I guarantee you not one of those motherfuckers in there would have ever approached him and said anything about his mask. But online, they said something about his mask, and he was like, yo, you don't like it? Keep it moving. He kept it brief. He addressed it and kept it moving. You see what I'm saying? So that's just the way you got to take the internet. It's just, but unfortunately, people catch their feelings. And as somebody posed before, that conflict is what causes drama, and that's what gets people excited, and that's what keeps people, everybody likes to see a train wreck. So there are people,
of course.
There are people that are not even in the discussion,
right?
That are in there like, yo, what he's gonna say next?
Ooh, like right now, we got 21 people, 22 people just joined the live screen, and we only got like about 9 people in the chat. So those are the people that be watching. Like, what's gonna happen next? What the fuck is gonna happen next?
Right. So there's a whole shit ton of people like that. Yeah.
Appreciate y'all stopping by.
But
yeah, exactly.
So my point is, it's not that I'm not trying to agree with you, because to an extent I do agree with you, but also the part where I don't agree with you wholeheartedly is the reaction you had off a dude. You know what I'm saying? I see why you had that reaction. I personally wouldn't have had that reaction. We on we from two different places, you know what I mean? So, but I see where you're coming from. I really do. But I'm at a point right now with this internet shit that these motherfuckers say a bunch of shit, bro. They're gonna bait you. They're gonna test. I mean, where did the word troll come from? Isn't that exactly what a troll is? He's pushing your buttons. He's purposely trying to instigate shit by saying some uncool shit, and ready to step.
Hold on, but this guy was not a troll.
No. He's not. I'm just addressing the concept of that.
Right,
That's
right.
all.
Let's stick to why I even started this show today and why I stick to this topic. You know what I mean? It's yes, we got to understand about everything you just said. Spot on. You know what I mean?
Nah, man, don't agree with me, bro. Nah.
But once again, shut the fuck up. But once again, you know what I mean? This is what's gonna happen.
Right.
We still have two different entities. And let me clear this. This was not my post because I know people are like, yo, why is Morbius so like amped up and shit because of that? Because it's just that I guess he caught me when I read it. I was just like, work and shit was going on. And I'm like, yo, this motherfucker, like,
my man. Somebody come to me and say, my man? Yeah, what?
He's like, what, my man? Like, you said my man, son? Like, nah, I got flashbacks and shit from high school and shit. Like, nah, I ain't your man, son. Square up. Like, so, like, but what I'm saying is, my thing is nah, don't worry about it, man. I appreciate you, brother. Oh yeah, you don't got to chat, brother. You don't got to just as long as you here representing, brother. I appreciate you, man. Exactly, John. I agree with you. Well said, brother. Well said. But at the end of the day, we cannot take away from the fact that if you do not like something, if you do not agree with something, we understand the dynamics of the internet. We understand how this works. When it comes to, like you was just saying, when it comes to people on the other side and how to avoid certain things, I get all that. But when somebody engages with you in a way where they're telling you, you need to stop your content because it makes me feel a certain way, that's where the problem lies. So it's not about the person who posted is not the problem. It's how the post made him feel. Now, if that made you feel a certain way, there's a very, perfect solution to that. And you said it. Just keep scrolling. Keep going. Just the same way you see somebody post a comic book that you give two shits about, you're going to be like, whatever.
Next.
And to them, they're like, oh my God, this is the most sickest shit ever. And you look at it, you're like, nah, not really, fam. Next, I'm not even gonna fucking acknowledge that. It's the same thing.
What's this? It's a Kirby cover? Nah, I'm good. What's up? Negro.
You better stop, son, because we're about to change the subject right now. But it's like, real quick, let's see what Jason said here. I remember after Superman Son of Kyle released, I seen hella grown-ass men throwing hissy fits on the internet saying it's political because Superman's son cared about refugees. Fam, you see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, now you got to understand who these people were. Like, I'm not going to get into that topic because that's something totally different. That just goes down another rabbit hole, because you're talking about refugees and then you're wondering what's going on here. So, but my thing is this: it's just that simple. If you don't like something, keep it fucking moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it fucking moving. Like, stop, like, wanting to how can I say, like, push your ideals and ideology on someone else because you wouldn't like that if somebody did it to you. You wouldn't like if you posted a comic book I didn't care for to be like, yo, fam, can you stop posting that shit? Like, can you, you know what I'm saying? Like, that book right there kind of like fucks with me. Like, if you posting a bunch of DC shit, and I'm gonna be like, yo, fam, can you stop posting that fucking DC book? Like, why you posting Green Lantern for? Like, Green Lantern bothers me. I wear green to match, not to read. Like, it bothers me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people will get offended by that, and you got to kind of look at the stupidity behind it where it's like, yo, just because that bothered you bro, keep it moving. Nobody gives a fuck how you feel. I don't give a fuck how you feel. But if you want to come, like you said, if you want to come in my house and tell me how to walk in my house and tell me, now we're going to have a discussion, fam. Like, we're going to speak on this. You know what I mean? If you're going to come in my house. But you know, and there's a way to approach me. You could come to my house and you could come very, very different. Like I feel like if you, me personally, when I see something I don't like, not that I don't like, or maybe that I just like, I'm curious about. Like when I reach out to somebody who's wearing gloves, touching their, you know, slab, I'm gonna DM you. I'm gonna DM you, and if he's in here or they're in here, they'll tell you. I will DM you, and I'll be like, "Yo, fam, I'm curious, fam. Like, why are you wearing gloves?" Like, and I'll ask you the question, but I'm not gonna go in your comment and try to be an asshole and be
So
on.
that's why I gotta jump in, bro. See, because you're automatically assuming that if somebody doesn't do it the way you do it, and they comment on the open forum, that they're being an asshole. And what I'm saying is that dudes like that, they're a dime a dozen on the internet. There are a trillion of those dudes, and the only time it's a problem is when you engage them. People are gonna do that shit all day. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Pete Rock, I follow him, right? And I go on his page. I don't necessarily dig all of the stuff that he puts on there when it comes to politics, but I still follow either way, and I don't make any comments. But the point that I'm trying to bring up is that, bro, do you see his comments?
Oh hell, they be going in.
Yo,
they go in like, on him.
It's open forum, and every once in a while he'll jump in and be like, yo. But I've noticed that as long as
Scheme, why Scheme, hit the fucking link, bro. Hit the link. Here's the link right here, Scheme. Hit the link, man.
Come on, Scheme, jump in, bro. Jump in, man.
Your hair, you know, put on a shirt and jump on, fam. Because nobody want to jump on. Everybody is this. Yo, don't be afraid. Come on here. Speak your mind. Fuck that shit. This is why I created this platform, bro. Get on here.
Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna jump into like his comments, right? People will say shit all day, right? So, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but they jump on his case all the time, and as long as I've been following him, the longer I follow him, the less he's commenting. So it seems that he's like, you know what? The internet's always gonna win. If I'm gonna sit here and say, "Oh, you wrong for doing this," and I'm gonna call you out because you did it in an open forum,
that's stupid.
Then you know what I'm saying?
That's stupid. I don't agree with that shit. I would never. That's not my style. Believe me, as much. All right, I'm gonna keep it 100. Real quick, shout out to all the 21 people in here. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I wanted to say something. Be proud of me, Krash. I didn't. I wanted to jump in on that, and I didn't. I was like, you know what? Because there's no need for me to say anything. Because the gentleman himself, not only did he handle that, his page, his situation, there was no, I felt like, you know what? At the same time, I felt like I'm not going to entertain this. There's no need to entertain this. You know what I mean? Not only is he already being handled, but if he wasn't, I still wouldn't entertain it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And because to me, it was like, there's no need to, because this is somebody at the end of the day is, you know, if you commenting, you are expecting a rebuttal. You know what I mean? You're engaging. You want to engage, regardless of the topic, regardless of what you're saying. Your whole purpose of commenting is to engage. Right. You know, and that was handled fine. It was handled beautifully, actually. You know, and I felt like, you know what? I'm not, you know, gonna bother with this because number one is like what you said. I'm not gonna entertain it because it was silly. It has nothing to do with me, you know, but it did rub me the wrong way because I felt like you have no right to tell somebody what to put, what content to put up, how to manage their page. You don't have the right to tell nobody that. And Absolutely. If you feel that you're on here because you feel, this is something religion and politics divide people. This computer brings us together. Not fam, to a point. To a point, my dude. That you know what that sounds like to me? No disrespect, Dave. I respect everything you're saying, but there's so much in that statement that could, you know, really in reality is not true. Because I got people in the building. Before I ever bring these people in, I'm gonna throw a little video. This is a skit that I wanted to put last week and I forgot to do it because I was caught up in the conversation. But this is the comic community you guys wish it was. And I hate to break it to you, that's not reality. But here you go for all of you that live in La La Land. This is for you.
I love this song.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when we're part of the team. Everything is awesome when we're living our dream.
Always use a turn signal. Park between the lines. Yes. Drop off dry cleaning before noon. Read the headlines. Don't forget to smile. Always root for the local sports team.
Go sports team!
Always return a compliment. Hey, you look nice. So do you. Drink.
What's going on? We back in the building. We back in the building.
We got Hollywood
He's getting
Squares over
it in.
here.
Hell yeah, we doing it properly right now. Shout out to my homie Scheme Richard. Shout out to my man Paul PJ
What's
Morris.
good?
What's good? Thank you guys.
What's
for
up, fellas?
jumping in.
Yo,
What's going on?
Cheers.
yo,
You know,
Alright.
yo,
you go.
Cheers.
I had to put that video up, Scheme, before you
Yo.
say anything. I had to do that.
3 of these guys are unlike the other. You think that was an eyeball? Yo, we didn't have these problems yesterday when Instagram was down.
Right.
Uh-huh.
We spending too much time on Instagram.
Yes. Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes. Social
doubt.
media, period.
There's too
Social
much time
media, period.
on the
That's-
internet.
Yo, not for nothing. I'm glad you said that, because if y'all been noticing lately, I'm not on social media like that. I respond to comments. I respond to shit when I get back from work. I'm sorry if you feel insulted that I'm not responding to you immediately and all that stuff. It's not even that. It's just that, you know what? That shit in reality is not healthy, man. You know what I mean? To be on here all fucking day. This is the shit that happens when you got fucking people trying to dictate how you post the shit. It's like they just want to control your whole fucking universe outside of the fact that they're being controlled within their own little fucking subliminal universe, you know? And so I didn't want to change the subject, but real quick, I know Scheme got some shit to say about this topic. I know Paul got some say. So real quick, I know I'm gonna just keep it moving. Scheme, I know, just let them know what's your take on this whole politics mixing with comics.
Yo, it's all good. Politics. Comics have always had politics. It's always been some sort of political something going on. I mean, if you look at the Fantastic Four with fucking Hitler, if you look at Nixon on the cover of the Fantastic Four, if you look at Mayor Koch, you know, it's always been that, you know, so there is a place. I think the problem is there's too much access to people saying.
Real quick, Scheme. Seems like people are confused. I don't know what they're confused about. I think with the whole Lego thing I threw up, it might have threw them off. You know, I think that the cartoon kind of like, you know, fucked them up. Okay, this is my point with that cartoon that I just put up, guys. Stay with me. Stay with me. Politics and comics are real life shit. Okay? That when I put that Lego stuff up, that's how can I say, like a play off how people presume this community to be, that everything is great, everything is awesome. Like they said, somebody comment back, you know, regardless of how you really feel, regardless of what you're really thinking, you're still going to respond because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. And that falls back to the whole politics and comics, guys. A lot of people are afraid to talk about politics or comics because they don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. You got me, y'all paying attention here?
But
so
on the same token, a lot of people just, like, for me, I just don't feel like engaging with fuckers on that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, that's somebody's belief on something, and it's like, okay, you're a fucking asshole. Like, whatever. I'm going to keep it scrolling. 9 times out of 10, I'm probably not even following you. You know?
Right.
And like with the case of the Pete Rock thing, I was like, dude, you overkill. You overkill. Go post some beats. Go post some fucking comments. Go do something. But
you can't get drowned. Yeah, you get lost in that shit.
Him and this overkill of posting all of this crazy shit. It's like, dude, I like you because you make beats. I'm not looking to you for political advice,
right?
You know, legal advice or none of that shit. Because you're not that guy to be giving political advice or medical advice or none of that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go make some beats.
Yeah.
Paul,
yeah, but you know, yeah.
Well, just basically, so like you were saying, you know, people want to engage people until they find out that that person's opinion is not the same as theirs. Then it's like the problem with social media, especially IG, Facebook, all those things, is everybody wants to be like an echo chamber. They just want to see like-minded, like people who say and post and agree with all the same shit they do. But that's not how the world works. I mean, once you're out here and like Krash was saying earlier, the internet is, you know, you're just all different kinds of people out there. So you can't just assume that everybody's going to have the same view as you. But back to the original reason why this show came about. I mean, that was just stupid shit. It was a funny video. Like, chill out, lighten up. The problem with the world today is everybody's too serious. Nobody can just have a laugh, like, no matter who you fucking like. We were talking earlier, you know, I love Harrison Ford, you know, Han Solo, you know, Indiana Jones, the movies I was scared. If someone put a funny fucking video together of him tripping and talking stupid, I would laugh at it. Like, it's not, there's no reason to be like so uptight, and it's like everybody's got their own sides and nobody can just like, you know, I mean, the world's, it's tough, man. It's different than when we grew up. It was like a different, you know, pre-internet, as Krash said earlier, you know, it was just a different world back then. And now
it's too much access. People got too much access to opinions. You know, before the internet, you had your parents' opinion, your homie down the street's opinion, you know, and whoever was on the news. Now it's like, yo, you got 5,000 followers, you got 5,000 opinions, and people's mental process, they can't handle 5,000 different opinions when they barely have a solid, concrete opinion on themselves.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
If you sway too easily, when the ball bounces and you changing up, like you really, that's like a child's mind. You can't make up your own mind what you want to do, and you looking for validation for somebody else that you agree with to be like, yo, this is correct and that's not correct.
Yeah, I see that all the time, man. I was just thinking that that before all this, before all the politics of this COVID shit really got into the hip hop community, there weren't a lot of cats within the hip hop community saying much about it, right? And then all of a sudden, you know, Pete Rock is posting his stuff. Then I see Busta Rhymes, you know, shitting on the vaccine, and it's like, oh, then because these rappers are coming out, that puts the batteries in other people's back. And then all of a sudden, now you got Nicki Minaj saying what she said about her cousin's homie, and it's like, yo, so it's just theater, bro. This is people like Scheme is saying. There's a platform where people are able to express their opinions like never before. People are gonna jump at the opportunity to say what they feel. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you don't like it, or whether you do like it, at that point, as an individual, you can either choose to engage or keep it moving. You know, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of certain videos, or if they're making fun of this president or that president. But if I'm gonna keep it real, all the jokes they were cracking about Trump, I was laughing at every single one of them joints. So what sort of hypocrite I'm gonna be if I see something funny about Joe Biden? Be like, well, no, you can't be joking about that president. I mean, come on, man. Let's get
like, is this a fucking joke? At the end of the day, it's a joke. It's sense of humor. You know what I mean? I don't care if it was my own mama. If that shit was funny, it's fucking funny. You know what I mean? That's what it boils down to. That people now have become too politically correct, too fucking sensitive.
There's also an undertone by some people of race. Like there's an undertone of race. Like if you crack a joke on Biden, whatever, but it's that undertone where it's like, yo, this dude is a racist. Like, you know, he's a racist. Yeah. Like,
but see, that's the thing. Like, all right, now being the devil's advocate.
Yeah, I don't know if I would take all that from that funny video though. Like, I wouldn't.
Not from.
No, he's not saying that. No, you know what I mean. But there's people out there who would disagree with you, Scheme, and be like, he's not racist. He was just breaking it down and keeping it real on how this world is. I've heard that.
No, what Biden?
No, Biden.
No, I'm talking about when Krash just said like he would be a hypocrite if he laughed at Trump, didn't laugh at the Biden.
Oh, okay, I got you. My bad.
My thing is, it's an undertone. Like, yeah, you might share something about Biden.
Right.
My bad. Undertone where it's like, yo, you're just sharing a funny joke about him, and like you're like, yo, fuck that motherfucker because he's a nigga lover. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you
right,
know,
exactly. I get you. And that falls back again on perspective and individual, perception of your reality and how you see your reality.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if my thing is, to me, I'm just gonna keep bringing it back to the original source, which is that post. I want to keep going back to that post because that post is what started this topic and this show today. And my thing with that whole thing was not only was the approach wrong, you know what I mean? I felt that when reading it, and the person who read it as well felt the same way when I had the discussion with him. He also felt like he was being come at. It wasn't a discussion. It was more like, yo,
scolding, like don't post
right, like I don't want to see that shit because it bothers me.
Like just keep,
you know what I mean? Take that down.
Unfollow me, whatever.
Right, you know what I mean? So I think that's what kind of started it off, where it was like, yo, bro, if you just would have changed a few words around and be like, man, I come on here to avoid, I know everybody got their opinion, and blah, blah, and then keep it moving, it would have been like, okay, cool. He's just expressing how he feels, and he's doing it in a way where he's not telling you or dictate how you post and how you handle your, account. I get that. That's cool, but it was just the way he came off.
Even that is like,
was on the same post. So.
Yeah, I mean, but even that is like, then just don't post anything. Like, you're not feeling this post, you don't think it's funny, just scroll by.
Keep it moving.
Because look, if it was like on the, Krash said, pre-internet, or whatever, speak to people in face to face. Like, you would never be like, man, why are you wearing no sneakers with that? Like, or whatever, just any kind of like critique of someone's personal attire or whatever they're posting, or the fucking color of their car, whatever it is. You would never confront them face to face with some shit like that, right?
Right.
Unless you want to get some words with them.
Yeah. You want to throw hands, whatever. But online, it's so easy to talk stupid shit and comment and micromanage every little fucking thing because there's no repercussions, really.
Right.
I mean, it's
right. Oh yeah.
Someone give me just a quick brief thing. My wife just reminded me of Rhode Island Comic Con's coming up in November, and so they had an announcement saying that you got to wear masks. So I just put a thumbs down. Whatever. I mean, we all tired of the mask. I'm vaccinated. Whatever.
Fucking mask.
Tired of the mask shit. So I just put innocent enough thumbs down on like a convention's like post feed. It wasn't like personal. It's like a fucking business. Anyway, this dude commented underneath and gave me the middle finger emoji, and it's like, I do whatever you want. I can't get my fucking hands on you. Like, you're not next to me. You're not doing that.
No, because you know what it was. You already was labeled. You was labeled as an anti-vaxxer.
Right wing,
you was labeled as
anti-vax, blah blah blah, all the rest of the shit. Trust me, you guys know my family dynamic. I mean, I have people all confused with, because I'm not. You can't put me in some little box like I think this on this, or I think this on this persuasion, politically or any other way. So everything down the line is all lined up. It's like, it's not like that. Each thing is different. I look at this situation, that you gotta be
it's lazy. It's very lazy for people to just go down the line and assume certain things, and they do it because they can. And that's where I think is the great unraveling of certain things in society in forums like social media, where you're so quick, you don't realize that everything isn't an algorithm. That and it's like, I hate an algorithm because I may click on something out of curiosity, but I don't want to keep seeing 5 or 6 more pictures after that of the same exact shit. Because, as Paul's saying, there's nuances in people. Just because he put a thumbs down on him, it's very easy for someone to automatically assume, oh, this is what he is. But the thing is, that's what labels are. Labels, the purpose of a label is so that you don't have to do the work. It's so you could just slap it on and say, okay, boom, next, let me move on to the next thing.
Lazy thinking.
Yep. Exactly.
It's easier to quantify. The reason people put stuff in boxes, because it's easier to quantify information once you have it labeled as something. If it's just anything, then it's hard for you to get stats or quantifiable things. But all these things are just for the purpose of recording certain data, but it isn't hard insight into who the person is as a total. You know what I mean?
Right. And my thing is this. It's like what, Matt said, he doesn't, let's go back to Matt. The reason I like this channel is because you guys are talking about real issues. I personally won't discuss politics on social media, but I do believe in the right for others to do as they please. Yes, as you guys know, everybody who's in here, if you see my stories, you know that if there's something popping off, if something I feel about my culture, about my people, I'm going to put it in my story. I'm not going to post it because my post, I keep it for the comics. And that's what my page is about, the post, but my stories is about my life. You know what I mean? If y'all realize that, y'all see I post my life in my stories, and my life is what I believe in. And I'm going to speak on the things I believe in. And I believe in justice, equality for everybody. So if I see some injustice shit going on, I'm going to post it. And a lot of people who are in here hit me on my DMs and they be like, yo, I agree with you. I'm with you. But see, that's the reason why I created this platform. Is exactly that. So we could have these discussions so you could feel comfortable to share your opinion, jump on here. That's why I put the link in here. But you guys could come on and we could speak on this and you could get that off your chest without having to go on your page and creating this whole Discord with people who are there just for the comics. And I get that. That's why you're never going to see me put no political shit on my feed. But if you go to my story, you're going to see something else. You know what I mean? Because that's just how I feel. That's my opinion. And that's my perspective on this planet, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind. But that's why I do this here. And I open this forum today because I want people to speak their mind. I don't want you to be afraid to speak about, yo, you a Trump? Yo, break it down, bro. Explain to me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to hate you for that because you got some dope books and I have Trump lovers who follow me. And when the whole thing was going on, I saw that they were like, yo, Trumper. And I'm not a Trumper. I don't follow Trump. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about Biden either, but that's another story. But you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to call him out, but that same person, right? That same person who was doing all that Trump shit got some dope books, and we just connected on that level. Don't mean I'm gonna go hang with a motherfucker. Yeah. Don't mean I'm gonna go chill with you, because now I know what we pretty much drew the line in the sand. You know what I mean? So I pretty much know
collectibles.
What I'm about.
I'm sure you have a lot of dudes that love slabs that follow you when you're busting up slabs.
Exactly, the same shit.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Because you know why? Because they gotta respect the hustle, nigga. They respect the collection the same way I respect your opinion on your politics and all that stuff. It's no different. You know what I mean? It's no different. And I think that's something that a lot of times people. What we got here, John? What you said? I get more hate for my Star.
That's no deserved hate.
Hell yeah! You damn right. Yeah. You damn right. Star Trek over. Oh man, listen. See, I'm torn because I'm a Trekkie. I love Star Wars. I love them both, man. Yeah. I can't get away from
equal opportunity employer.
Exactly.
That's like like a vote for Ross Perot or something.
Bro, you can't hate on Kirk. Come on now, Kirk is the man, son. He's like the cosmic Mac, son. He was the universal pimp, son. This dude is the man, son. You know what I'm saying? Yo, shout out to Hood Rat. Hood Rat in the building was good.
That's funny.
I just got in here. I heard Trump. Nah, man, we just listen, man. That's why, I felt like I wanted to bring this topic up today because I felt like this needed to be spoken on. We should not put ourselves in this box. And I understand if you don't want to talk about it, amen, brother. But everybody in here I've spoken to on the phone. We've had many, and there's people who are outside of this, who are sellers, who deal on that level with the community that feel strongly about political things that I've been on the phone with. And if I were to tell you who they are, they'll be like, no way. Because everybody has an opinion. And they should be okay about discussing it and talking about it and not feeling like you're going to be ostracized or you're going to be canceled because you have an opinion about something that I don't agree with, And like I said,
Michael Jordan said at one point, Republicans buy sneakers too, or something like that. So
you know what I'm saying? So
sometimes you gotta separate it.
Men in diapers was such an odd. Yeah, man. At the end of the day, I think that it's important to be able to have these discords but at the same time, know who you having it with. Like if somebody doesn't want to have these discussions, then we're not gonna have these discussions, my brother. It's nothing about imposing political will, but you cannot tell me I cannot have this discussion just because it makes you feel uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable with it, then move on. And if you want to talk about comics and politics, like we said earlier, you have politics engraved into comics, man. You know, like I said, there's people in here and the stuff on my wall that are politically.
I was thinking before Krash was talking about X-Men, because X-Men's got like a long X-Men. You guys know that's my babies, but they got a long. They got like the Genosha storyline in the '80s, like apartheid. I mean, they had like Claremont was deep with that. So I mean, he's you know that whole run.
Yeah, man. And ain't nobody had a problem with that. Nobody was saying, "Oh, I don't want to hear that political shit." And how many times Captain America, bro? Captain America, believe it or not, in X-Men 268, you know that classic cover, you know what I mean, with Wolverine and Black Widow and Captain America. When I read that book, I had to reread it again because this dude was like breaking down basically like the Federal Reserve, the way that whole, you know, control over America. And when I read that at 13, I was like, yo, this is a little deep. When I read it again in my 20s, I was like, yo, he's talking about the Illuminati. I was like, yo, like he breaking it down right here.
People looking at comics like a movie, they not really taking it like they taking it as a story versus like walking out your front door and being like, oh shit, look at this fucking protest of skinheads walking down a block. You know what I'm saying? Like they looking at two different things. When people reading shit or people watching movies, it's an escape for them out of reality. When in the sense that is reality.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I was saying before, how there are people that will look at something that's obviously political in a comic book and won't see the politics behind it. I remember as a child that, well, my teenage years, I should say, I remember I was in the hip hop circle, right? And I was talking about X-Men. And I remember I blew this dude's brain away because when I told them that there's this comparison between Professor X and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Magneto, and he looked at me like he just saw something brand new. He was like, yo, like a whole veil. He just didn't see it. He wasn't deep into comic books as I was, but he did read comic books. But when I broke it down on that level, how I saw X-Men, it blew his mind. And he was like never the same after that. He saw comic books in a totally different way. So there are people out there that don't see that shit. Scheme is pretty.
See what Jason just said right now? Fucking delinquent. You would say that shit. Preach scheme. It's pretty hilarious how folks want to escape reality, but the very media you're consuming is literally based on everyday reality. Preach, my brother. Preach. You know, Captain America has constantly been a voice of political viewpoints. He's always been an outlaw of the government for his attitude. Thank you, my brother. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, you cannot take away politics outside of comics only because you're sensitive and it makes you feel a certain way. Like that's where the divergent happens, because now you're going a totally different direction of where it actually is stemming and coming from. You know what I mean? You're basing this on a cancel culture and an emotional sensitivity where instead of looking at it as just information that you could digest and break down to yourself and be like, you know what? Let me break this down. Let me see how I can apply this, and let me see how I could. Because like Scheme, you had said something in your story. You said that every day. I'm just don't take me word for it. You know what you put it in your story today, and I felt like that's how I live my life. And when I tell people something, that it's like just because I learned something today doesn't mean that tomorrow I'm gonna revamp that. I'm going to change it because I just learned something tomorrow that's going to go against what I just learned today.
Right. Every day is a new learning.
Every day is new.
Can you enlighten us on the ones who didn't read the post?
So, Scheme, break it down. I know you get in your phone, bro.
Let me see. Let me
break
see
it down word for word. Because when he said that, this is something I always live by.
So, a part of growth is understanding something today that you didn't yesterday. I'm trying to experience that every day.
Every day. Every day. So every day. So when people ask me, I always used to break this down. I used to tell people every day is a lesson. Every day is a lesson. You going to school every day. And just because I might tell you something today, I might change my mind tomorrow because I learned something new that supersedes what I just learned today.
Right.
You know what I mean? So not everything is engraved in stone. You cannot say that this is what it is.
All we
You
know
know what
is
I mean?
like, you're gonna eat, sleep, die, and most likely die and dead.
Right.
Right. Those are the things
Right.
that like, yo, those are guaranteed.
Right. It's guaranteed.
Taxes,
You know,
guaranteed.
Right. You know, so real quick, guys, I know we just hit the hour mark. We got 21 people in here. Shout out to everybody who's in here. I appreciate you so much for coming through today because I know this topic is something that a lot of people don't want to do and want to talk about or want to get into. I apologize if my hands is all in there, you know, all in the camera.
Nah, don't mind. Nah,
You got them Kirby hands. You got them Kirby hands
Yo,
going.
son, yo, my man.
My man.
Man,
Yo,
bro.
when you approach Morbius,
Yo, the way you
don't end it
approach me,
with
my
my man.
My man, let me tell you something, my man. You know what I mean? Anyway, but
That was definitely not the proper choice of words. My man.
right, that's what I'm
Don't
saying.
end your soliloquy with my man, or we gonna have a
Well,
problem.
exactly. You don't end nothing
Especially
with
when you're
my
not my man. I
okay?
don't know who the fuck you are.
Yo, PJ, when is Rhode Island Comic Con?
It is first weekend in November, I believe. The 5th. No, what's
The
babe,
5th and
what's
6th?
the
5th and 6th, Friday, Saturday.
yeah.
5th and 6th.
Okay, 5th and 6th.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. It's a 3 days, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta make a
You
trip.
make a roadie?
We gotta hang out. We gotta hang out.
All right, that would
We
be
gotta
cool.
hang out. Definitely, man. But guys, once again, man, let me reiterate real quick for everybody who's here. I appreciate you. Anybody who's catching the replay, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll make sure I put these guys' information in the description below. I know Krash is in there. I'll make sure I put Paul and Scheme because they had just jumped in. Appreciate everybody who's in the chat checking us out. Shout out to the 18 people who's still riding with us, and yeah, man. Once again, comics and politics is
Goes hand in hand.
they have a marriage, man, that we cannot, how can I say, dismiss.
Right.
You cannot dismiss it based on sensitivity of you not wanting to deal with it.
This topic though kind of appeals back to the one when Scheme and Sith were on about the etiquette. That's kind of online etiquette. You're not feeling with this dude,
Right.
just fucking scroll by it. Don't
Just keep going.
Right.
Don't
Keep
start
going,
arguing.
man.
You weren't prepared to finish. You know what I mean? Because once he replied
Yeah.
to him, he didn't know what to say. He could have left looking stupid. It was like,
Right. Exactly, like Homeboy did. You know what I
how's
mean?
that saying go?
Funny.
Don't something about being a fool and keeping your mouth shut, or opening your mouth and removing all doubt, something to that effect.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Or like Bruce Lee, he said, a fool always loves to hear himself speak. You know what I mean? So don't argue with a fool is pointless because a fool loves to hear himself speak. And that's something that I agree with 100%. And that's why, Krash, you'll be proud of me. I didn't comment on it. I avoided it. I ain't say nothing. I was like, I'm just gonna let it go.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about letting it go.
No. Not letting it go in that sense. I meant letting it go in commenting. I did not comment. That's a big step
I
for
could
Morb.
be wrong, but I
For
thought
those who don't know Morb, that's a big step. Krash knows Morb. That's a big step for Morb.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's a
I
big
kept
step.
my mouth shut.
Yeah, that's a big step.
It's a big step for me, guys. These guys right here, this family, they know what's up. So
Yep.
once again, guys, I know I just thank you so much for coming on, guys. Scheme, Paul, appreciate you for coming on, guys.
Yeah, man.
For those who are in the chat, man, next time jump on. I don't care if you got some crud in your eye, you got your hair all fucked up. Come on, man, speak your mind, let it be known. This is why the platform is here.
That was funny. You told Scheme, yo, go ahead, Scheme, comb your hair, get on there.
He did, don't you see? He combed his hair, put on a shirt.
That's
I didn't want to know what he was doing. I didn't want to know what he was doing.
I was in the middle of eating dinner.
It's suspect, right? It's suspect because he don't got nothing behind him. It's just a plain wall.
Oh no, I'm
Suspect.
Yeah, I'm in the office.
Suspect, son. He was up to something.
I'm in the office. I'm in the office.
In the office.
I'm in the office.
That's what's up, man. Once again, guys, appreciate you for coming on, man. I mean, we could keep going for another hour, 2 hours with this shit, man. But, I think at the end of the day, I think we got our message across. I think we pretty much, for those in the chat, thank you so much. I know you guys were like, bugging out at first, like what's going on, and some people were on it, some people weren't sure, some people had their opinions, which I appreciate you for that. And and once again, this is why we do this for, because this is check the play on words, comic relief. It's a relief. This is to just relief off the comics, man. Y'all not catching it, son.
I came here for comics, not politics. I want to relief from all this politics.
Comics,
Hey,
son.
Krash, I'm hoping that relief check of the royalty checks from this show comes in soon, because we've been on here a lot, so I'm hoping those relief checks come in.
Hit Krash up. He the accountant. He the one that handle the money. He
Morb,
handle the
you
money.
got that Patreon.
He's sliding out. Look at him. He's sliding out. Where you going, fam? Where you going? But nah, man. Once again, man, I appreciate you fellas. Ski's birthday just passed. Once again, happy birthday, my brother.
Thank you.
Salute to you. You still looking like 24 years old. I don't know how,
Hey,
but
man,
you doing it.
I'm just saying.
It's music and comics, brother. Music. That's why I tell people it's a lot of water, a lot of sex, a lot of comics, and a lot of music. That's the key to life, right there, brother. Key to life to keep you young.
Like
Nothing wrong with that, So once again, shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate you. Here we go. We're getting the happy birthdays for sure. Salute to my big brother. I'm surrounded by my mentors, boy. I love it. So once again, salute to you, brother. Salute to everybody who's still in here hanging out with us. Salute to everybody who's catching the replay. Once again, hit that like button, hit that subscription. Make sure you stay following so you can keep getting more of this beautiful content we be giving y'all here on Comic Relief. And man, shout out to K Krash, shout out to Scheme Richards, shout out to PJ Morris, my homie Paul. And man.
And this episode has been brought to you by the New York Yankees.
Oh man, we already down 2-0, man.
That's right.
You can't
As he
deny
said,
it.
one of these kids is doing his own thing.
Hold on.
Thanks, Lord.
Bro, he had to brush those rolls, bro. He had to
I'm
keep
just
the
saying,
wave in.
bro.
Where the waves at? Gotta show the wave.
I'm just saying.
He might have a Phillies hat on.
Steve is like, stop fucking, yo. Leave me the fuck alone, man.
I do have a Yankees cap, though. I do.
Of course you do.
Oh,
Of course.
He ain't gonna show it. It's in his lowest back. All right, so we out now. He got a lower back tattoo, son. Salute to everybody, man. Thank you so much. You guys have a great night. And we catch you on next week, bro. Y'all already know. Peace.